Welcome to Subramani. I am talking to you from the locales of Himachal Pradesh. You can see the beautiful background. And somebody asked me, what is worrying you about the economy today? Actually, nothing worries me about the economy or about the markets ever. What I am waiting for with a lot of patience is for the market to correct itself. I think it will correct itself tomorrow? No, I do not know. Do I think it will continue to boom? I do not know. What am I doing? I am taking fresh positions. Let me repeat, I am taking fresh positions, but I am taking more trading positions rather than investment positions. And in my investment position, I am trimming a lot. I have money in. I am putting money in longer term debt, hoping to get a better return after some time. Yes, there will be a correction, but I don't mind doing a SIP, say in a longer term debt fund. But then I am a contrarian at some stage. But my core portfolio is equity, and I will always be 90% in equity. Make no mistake about that. But is this a market when people should be investing? I don't know, but I don't think this is a market which you are going to look back and regret saying, oh my god, I wish I had invested in 2021. I don't think in 2025 you are going to look back on this market with a great amount of regret. Will the market correct? Let's put it this way, every day the market gives you an opportunity to trim position. It keeps going up. It is telling you that the economy is booming, and the balance sheets are not telling you that. So there is a disconnect. One day there will be some kind of a connect. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, I do not know. Whether in September we will come down, I don't know. Whether in September 2022 will still be up, I still don't know. I don't know, but I know one thing. I know my position. I have to reduce equity. I'm too much into equity, but I book a lot of profits in equity, and I am slightly more bullish on longer term debt, because if I can get a good debt to lock in. However, I can't get a good debt to lock in simply because I don't want to pay income tax, so I go more and put money in longer term debt fund rather than only in equity. Equity does not look so attractive to me now. Investors are of course very bullish on the long term, but the economy is telling us something very different, and I do think keeping on stimulating the economy to make it grow, to make it look good, does not feel very good for me. What happens because of the Afghanistan episode? If a lot of people refuse to buy US bonds, let's say the US wants to issue bonds and there are not enough international buyers. I'm not saying international buyers are going to sell, but what if there is not enough demand? What happens if the dollar weakens? I don't think we have answers for any of these things. And when I don't have answers, I am more scared than brave, because I'm old and I don't want, not in a great mood to take that kind of risk. I'm taking enough risk in my life by going on treks and hikes, so that's good enough. So what is my view on the stock market going forward? I expect the markets to be flat to down rather than up and running, but that's my view and I could be wrong. More important thing is, when I change my view, I may not put a video before I sell. So I may sell and then put a video saying I sold, or I may put a video saying I am selling and you may not watch that. So be very careful about listening to me and doing that. For example, I have invested in Yes Bank. I have invested in Vodafone. I believe that I will take a long time to make money, but yes, I will make money. The parentage now looks good. Yes, Vodafone, the parent themselves are willing to sell, but that's the risk I'm willing to take. That I do think one thing which worries me is, if you consider this the longest run bull market, and every day I see the Sensex going up hugely over a couple of days, maybe by a big number of points. It scares me, because I don't know whether this kind of jump is sustainable. So that is scary. So the question is, when does this whole thing blow over? Will it blow over at all? I don't know whether it will blow over at all, but I know one thing: every bull run ends in a bad way. It has to end in a bad way, and it does end in a bad way. Look at housing. The media is trying to talk up the housing, but I don't see people committing to housing in a big way with job uncertainty. The building in which I am living, transaction happened recently at more or less the same price at which it had happened in 2016. So from 2016 to 2021, if prices have not moved, it is just that there is a message in the market saying, look, there is not enough confidence for people to borrow and buy a house. Will the same person now borrow and buy a car? Maybe yes. He looks to add an extra bedroom to his house and he realizes 1.5 crores is too much to add. So he goes and buys a 25 lakh rupee car. So maybe the same person who wanted to buy the house can't afford it, therefore buys a 25 lakh or a 30 lakh rupee car, because that can be easily funded with a loan. I have no clue why that is happening. But yes, people are buying cars, people are buying two-wheelers, but not enough people are buying houses, because I do think that people don't want to commit to a long-term debt on a short-term certainty of a job. But one thing which worries me is the market, when it comes down, could come down a little slowly and then come down very steep. This is exactly what happens when it comes down a little. Lot of people get brave and they buy, and then suddenly when it comes down much faster, people are scared and they themselves sell, right? The inflation forecast in India is a little scary, because the RBI keeps telling you, oh, this is temporary, it won't happen. But I don't know. And again, I have a very different view from the government or from the Reserve Bank in terms of interest rates. When interest rates go down, people believe, at least economists believe, people will go out and spend more money, they will not save. I have seen completely contrarian behavior. A person puts 1 crore in the bank to earn 7 lakhs a year. When the interest rates go down to 6, he goes and puts another 20 lakhs or 30 lakhs into the same bank, so that his income is protected. 99% of people are worried about income protection, not about rate protection. So when interest rates go down in India, people save more, people invest more in bank deposits. They may not invest in equities, but they save more in bank deposits or in RBI bonds or things like that. So at 701, people are willing to lock in their money for 7 years, knowing fully well that every quarter or every 6 months that interest could be reset. So inflation forecast to me and interest forecast are connected at the hip, and people behavior to me is very different from what an economist tells you how people will behave. People don't behave the way which economists tell you. People are scared, right? I don't think we are in the great inflationary period of the 1970s or 80s or even 90s or even the pre Narendra Modi election, because he came on the plank of there being less inflation. Luckily for him, oil prices also went down. Maybe he's brought in some fiscal discipline. I don't know what all he did, but inflation has been benign in India at least for the last 7 years, and that's scary because we think interest rates will only be benign. Interest rates may not be benign even in the US. So if the US interest rates changes, you can be sure that all over the world interest rates will go up. Right now, I'm not willing to forecast, nor am I willing to accept Fed and RBI's stance that this is temporary. I don't know, but I don't agree with that stand. That much at least I know. So will your money be safe in bonds? Yes, for people who are retiring, absolutely safe. If you can go and lock in your money for the next 20 years or 15 years in bonds, I think your money should be safe. Will you see a fall in the market price? Yes. So if you're investing in a mutual fund, you have to be ready for that kind of a fall. But if you're buying bonds, you don't have to do a mark to market, right? Mark to market has to be done by fund managers, not by you. If you are willing to pay income tax on your bonds, then I think bonds are a great thing to have. But otherwise, it's very inefficient. So you're better off in a longer term debt also, provided you do an SIP. Maybe you, instead of putting 1 lakh a year, I would be very happy if you put 8,000 a month in a long term debt, but being ready for when interest rates change, or rather when interest rates go up, the bond value will fall. So therefore I prefer bonds, but having to pay tax on the interest rates puts me on the growth option of a mutual fund. So yes, there is a lot of conflict. You do what you want, but I don't think you will be very badly off after some time. In this time and age, should older people, say 70 and above or 75 and above, need to have any money in equity? Yes and no. Yes, to beat inflation. No, because you are going to see a nice fall in the value, and therefore you are better off being in debt, maybe even in guilt, with the fact that you own the guilt and you don't have to worry about mark to market loss. Yes. Am I saying all investors should sell all their shares and go home? No, I'm not saying that. But doing a SWP from your equity portfolio over a 3-month or a 6-month period, yes, it will make you feel bad. But let us say you have 30,000 shares of a company, whatever company, I'm not naming it, and you're selling 50 shares a month, and then you see price going up. Should you be happy about the 29,000 800 shares that you have, or should you be worried about the 50 shares or 200 shares that you sold, 50 shares a month, right? So don't bother too much about that. What do I think is the threat to the market? I think it is overvaluation. I don't think the APS is going to catch up with the PE. The PE will shrink to catch up with the correct valuation. So I think the market is overvalued. Look at Apollo Hospitals. I bought it at 900 rupees not very long ago. I think it was just post-COVID, or maybe it was just pre-COVID. 900 to 4,000. If I don't sell now, when am I going to sell? I have a 4-bagger in less than a year. I thought it will be a 2-bagger in 4 years. So this is a 4-bagger in 2 years. I think it is, I think it is overvalued. So I will definitely prune my position. I do not know about you. So similarly, many of the shares which I have bought, which have gone up too much, which are not commodity based. Say Vedanta has gone up from something like 87, 90 rupees, at which around 90s when I entered, and today it is at 330 plus. I'm happy taking some of the foam home and waiting for the beer. And if whatever price you have bought, if you are happy with the returns, there is no harm in selling off some of the shares. But I'm not selling my HUL, I'm not selling my Nestle, not even selling my Cummins and my Colgate. So some of the shares I will hold, some of the shares I will sell, some of the shares I will sell and buy it back when it comes down. So I'm pretty ambivalent about the market. I don't even mind holding Yes Bank and Vodafone for 10 years to make money, right? So I have a portfolio which is, some part is growth, some part is stability, some part is dividend, and some part is largely speculative, right? So I hold a full array of products and I know exactly where what fits. So once you know that, you can manage your own portfolio. You can go and sell first and buy later, or you can buy first and sell later, depending on what you want to do. But largely don't compromise on quality just because the good quality stocks are expensive. Good quality stocks will never be cheap for you, so better be careful. If your company is really good, why should they reduce prices just because you want to buy, right? So be careful about that. Otherwise, I think it's a market which is going to correct. If you can anticipate that correction, don't have to anticipate the timing. So sell a little and wait, or sell a little and buy it back as soon as it comes down. You might find much lower prices also, but at least you would have done some trade. Thank you.